What's up guys, I'm Hendo and today I'm showing you how to make a cel-shaded wig. In this video, I'm going to explain how to create a cel shading effect on a wig. I'll explain step by step what I'm doing and try to refer to this reference picture because it's like a little bit weird to explain what exactly I'm doing. Basically, I'm going to style the wig, dye it using acrylic paint, wash it out, and then use black paint to create that line work. It's not super tough, it's just really tedious. But it didn't take me much longer than a day, so how bad could it be? I'm just kidding, it's fine. First, I'm going to try the wig on, and then style it as needed. I'm making sure that I have a clear center part. Then I'm going to measure the length in the front to create a bob. The back of Maya's hairstyle is pretty short. I'm also using thinning shears so that the back isn't quite so fluffy. And this is about the shape that I'm going for. Of course, there are a few different ways to dye a wig, and using actual dye is probably the most effective way to do it. But for me, it's a little bit difficult to control, so I'm going to use acrylic paint. With the acrylic paint, it's going to look super pigmented at first, but a lot of that's going to wash out, so keep that in mind. So in this step, I'm going to be creating that blue ombre effect. It's darker at both the bottom of the hair and at the roots. I'm taking just a dark blue acrylic paint and really saturating the ends. I'm kind of sectioning it off as I go so that I can visualize a little bit better what I want the back of the hair to look like. And to help with that ombre effect, make sure that you drag that paint color up very lightly towards the top of the wig. Since Maya's hair is a little bit darker at the roots, I'm going to add some paint there too. Then I'm just going to make a few streaks down the length of the hair. And then I'm going to take a few smaller sections and make much darker streaks in the hair. This is going to add to that cel shading effect by creating some line work. And now I'm adding a more turquoise shade of blue to the middle part of the hair to add to that whole ombre effect. And as the paint is drying, I'm also going to add some more blue paint to the ends just to make it a little bit darker. Now I'm going to let it all dry and then rinse the wig out. Make sure that you use cold water. I'm not going to use any soap or shampoo, but I am going to rinse it very thoroughly until the water runs clear. Here it is, all washed out. You can tell that a lot of the color has come out. And that's good because Maya's ombre effect is pretty subtle. So the effect looks pretty good, but I can tell that that dark blue shade that I used has kind of a purple base and more of it is washed out than I wanted it to. So I'm going to mix that dark blue paint with a little bit more black and then just throw another layer on it. And now I just let it dry and wash it out again. Now it's all washed out and it looks pretty good. It looks a little bit dark here, but it's going to dry much lighter and looks pretty much exactly the way that I would like it to. And now the next step is to add all that black line work. First, I'm going to style the front since Maya's hair has a little bit of volume at the very front, and I just generally think that it looks a little better on me when it's not quite so flat here. I'm using sewing pins to hold the wig and the styling in place. First, I comb the hair back, and then I place a pin down so that the hair falls around it. And now I'm just doing the same thing to the other side. Now that it's all styled, I'm just going to go ahead and let the wig dry. Now I'm going to use black acrylic paint to create those strong cel-shaded black lines. I think this step especially is much easier to do with black acrylic paint than with black dye. I'm going to start with the back because this is a new process to me, so if I make a mistake, I'd rather be in the back than in the front. I'm just creating these little triangular sections and then painting the edges black. Make sure you saturate the ends especially. This doesn't have to be super precise. The paint is going to hold the sections together for the most part, but even if they fall out a little bit, it should still look like a cel-shaded effect. I'm also going to take some small sections and create these small, straight black lines down the length of the wig. And I'm really going to make sure that the very bottom edges of the wig are really saturated with black. This is going to help create that effect of the bottom of the wig being outlined. And I'm basically just going to keep repeating this process, taking a step back once in a while to look at it from afar and make sure that I can really see that line work from a little ways away. And now I'm going to add black to the center part. Make sure that you really saturate the hair and the lace here, but don't make the line too thick. I'm also going to outline that slight volume puff on the front of the wig. Really take your time with the front since obviously that's going to show the most. And this is a quick comparison shot of the wig to show you what it looks like with and without that black cel shading line work. And now I'm just doing the other side. I'm again outlining that little poof. And I'm making that sharp front line by just taking a small section of the very front of the wig and just painting a straight black line. And that's pretty much all you gotta do. I'm not gonna wash out the black paint because I want it to stay a little bit stiff and really hold those sections in place. I did brush out the back a little bit so that it moves very slightly. In cosplay, I'm pretty much always aiming for things to be somewhere between super realistic and super true to the fandom. If you brush out a little more of the wig than you wanted to, just take some hairstyling gel to section it back together. I kept the front much stiffer than the back because I really wanted to make sure that it always looked like a very sharp bob. And this is what it looks like all finished. And here's how it looks in motion. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. And if you have any ideas for what you want to see me make next, please let me know down in the comments too. Until next time, I'm Hendo. Thanks for crafting with me.